The purpose of today's lesson is we're going to add, subtract, we're going to solve and graph simple inequalities with one-step equations involving addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So just like we solve an equation, this is for 2. Notice tonight's homework, we're doing 2 sections. Every other odd, we're going to do 1, not 3, 5, not 7, 9, not 11. Okay? We solve an equation, an inequality, the same way we solve equations. We're going to use inverse operations. So to get x alone, if it says plus 2, I'm going to subtract 2 to get that, isolate the x and get the variable all alone. So I'm using the inverse operations. I'm going to use my property of equality, subtract 2 from both sides of the equal sign. And I get x equals 3. We're going to do the same thing with an inequality. To isolate the variable and get x all alone, we have to do the inverse operation, so I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides of the inequality. Okay, I'm subtracting 2, and then I've got the inequality x is less than 3. Now I want you to notice the difference in these solutions. When x equals 3, there's one answer. We put a point on the number line. It's 3 and only 3. In x is less than 3, we actually have an infinite amount of solutions. It starts at 3 and it goes on and on forever in the less than direction. So it really kind of goes to infinity, right, in that direction. Okay? Questions? Okay, so here we have infinite solutions. So we're just going to be using our inverse operations. So if I have 3 plus x is less than or equal to negative 7, what would I do? What's the inverse operation? Go, Max. We're going to subtract 3. And then I'm left with x is less than or equal to negative 10. And in this case, I have x minus 6. Oh, and then we're going to graph it. I need 2. When you are graphing, you only choose 2 numbers, 0 and the number you need to start at. So what 2 numbers will be in the number 1 graph? Go, Mike. Negative 10 and 0. I start at negative 10. Don't worry about what my PowerPoint is showing. I start at negative 10 and I'm going in the less than direction. On number 2, Julia, what do I need to do to isolate my variable?
You need to add 4 both sides.
Okay, what I said was, let's just one more time. I need to isolate the x on that side of the inequality. So why am I moving the 4? I need to get x alone. What?
Subtract x from both.
I want to get x alone. X stays where it's at.
Add x.
I'm not adding x.
6.
What'd you say?
Add 6.
Add 6. Go. Good. I'm doing the inverse, leaving x alone. I'm adding 6. I'm adding 6. And it simplifies to positive 2 is greater than or equal to x. Now, here's where issue number 1 in solving inequalities. When I go to graph it, what are the 2 numbers I need on my number line?
0.
Here's my 0, here's my 2. Where is my starting point?
2.
It is at 2. Is it an open or a solid circle?
Solid.
Solid because it says equal to. Now, here's where the problems happen. What direction am I going in?
Left.
Some say right, some say left. I need you to justify your answer. Why are you saying?
Left, because if you reverse the inequality, it's x is less than or equal to 2.
Okay, so there's 2 ways you can do this. A, you can read from the variable. X, what's x touching? Less than or equal to 2, and then make sense of it. X is less than, the less than direction goes in this direction. Or you can just rewrite it X is touching the less than or equal to 2. I think most teachers in 7th grade teach them to rewrite the inequality. I don't care what you do. Either read from the variable or rewrite the inequality. X is less than. But this is a source of a lot of kids bombing this section when the X is on the right side or the variable is on the right side of the equation. Because they want to, many times what they really just want to do is they want to follow the directionality of the arrow. And you can only do that if X is on the left. Is everybody clear on that? Okay. So that's problem number 1 when we're solving inequalities using inverse operations. All right. Why don't we pause it and you guys try 3 and 4. You're solving and graphing. Okay, we're going to check. We're subtracting 8 from both sides of the inequality. We get k is greater than negative 13. That's what I mean by reading from the variable. Or I can switch it around to k is greater than negative 13. We start at negative 13 on the graph, and we are going in the positive direction with an open circle. Number 4, we're adding 3 to both sides. We get p is greater than 12. We start at 12, and we have an open circle, and we're going in the positive direction. All right, I'm going to pass this. So now I want to talk about something that happened on a previous test. What would I do on number 13? Okay, let me show you what happened on a previous test. And so what is the problem here? Okay, how about Noah?
Your x is negative.
Okay, I need more than that. Let's go, Jamie.
This person's doing the subtraction like that, but it's on the same side of the equation,
Right.
So it would just be x.
Right. So really, when do we do inverse operations, opposite operations? Yes.
When you do opposite operations, you subtract it or add something from both sides.
Both sides of what?
Of the equation.
Of the inequality or the equal sign. And what was happening is that somebody did this. They subtracted 3x, not in this class, from on the same side. We're not doing the inverse of 3x. So in this situation, actually, what do we need to do? What? We're going to combine our like terms. So on this side, my like terms are 3x minus 2x makes an x. And then I have that plus 3 is greater than or equal to 68. Okay? And then I'm subtracting 3, x is greater than 65. And this is why we are only picking 2 numbers, because we don't want to write 65 little lines. Here's 0, here's 65. It is greater than. So is everybody understanding that? Mm-hmm. Okay, I want you to do number 14. Pause the recording. Let's check our work. We're doing 7m. Combining 7m minus 6m is m plus 4. And then we're subtracting 4. And then we're going to rewrite it as m is greater than or equal to 6. And then we graph it with 0 and 6. And we're with the solid circle going to the right. Okay? We're making our equations a little bit more complicated. What would we do here? You want to pause it and try it on your own? Okay, go. All right, let's check our work. What do we get for the first section? How about Tony?
I multiplied times the quantities.
Okay, and what do we get?
5x minus 20.
Keep going.
And then negative 4x.
Minus 4x. In that case, it becomes a minus 4x. Keep going.
Minus 14.
Good. Minus 4x minus 14 is less than or equal to 20. Now what? Go, Isabel.
Then we would add negative 20 and negative, so 3x minus 34.
3x? How about combine our like terms?
X equals
X? What am I doing about combining my like terms on this side? X and what else? What do I do with this? So what does it become? X minus 34. Keep going.
less than
20. Good. Now what am I doing? Let's go with Brianne.
Then after you would add 34 to both sides,
Good.
and then you would get x is less than 54.
54. And then we're drawing our, I have 0, I have 54. It's an open circle and we're going to the left. All right, that was section 4.2. So tonight again, remember you're doing every other odd. That's the record.